Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. Apparently, Mexico's alleged Copa America squad has been released, and I have had so many of y'all ask me to react to it, and I have tried so hard to not look at the list until this moment. I know almost nothing about who was added and who was removed. In fact, the only thing I know is that this list has been almost unanimously praised. I don't know exactly what that means yet. We're about to find out together. But before we do, guys, if you like videos about the Mexican national team in English, make sure you hit subscribe. I'm going to be dropping videos every single day during the Copa America, of course, doing live streams for all of Mexico's games, doing predictions. Of course, we have the Brazil and Uruguay friendlies coming up as well. Don't miss that. Stick around. I already said it, but I'm kind of scared. Let's go ahead and pull this list up. Oh, my Lord. Oh, don't do it to me. Mother of God. The rumors are true. Memo Ochoa actually was taken off of the porteros list. Woo! Yo, that's hot from the jump. That is hot. Oh, that is hot. That is picante. That is... Oh, wow. I have a lot I could say about this. I'm going to try to not make this a 2-hour video, though. So you guys let me know in the comments how you feel about these three porteros. To start, Malagon, no surprise, probably the most guaranteed backup goalkeeper that we were going to have, although looks like he's a starter now. Jose Rangel from Chivas is an interesting inclusion. I'm actually not opposed to that at all. He's a young guy. I think he's like 25 years old. Chivas had a pretty good defense, made a couple good saves recently in the games that I've seen. I got nothing negative to say about that. I'm sure they're popping mezcal in Jalisco right now. And then Julio Gonzalez from Pumas is a bit interesting because I do think he's a good goalkeeper. I've watched a lot of Pumas recently, mainly for Chino Huerta and Piero Quispe, just to, a little Debol TV scouting report. But I do think Gonzalez is a good goalkeeper. But I'm also pretty sure he's like 34 years old or something. So that's a little old. And I just don't want us to repeat the whole Cota experiment where it's like there's no long-term stability here. Whether it's fair or not for Gonzalez, I just feel like the moment to represent Mexico at the national level is probably past. I'm okay if he got minutes in some friendlies, but even as I say that, I feel like Fernando Tapia probably would have been my preference. Mainly because he's 22 years old and part of a very, very solid defensive unit in Querétaro, and I just feel like if we're gonna pass the reins, man, really pass the reins. The crown doesn't go from the king to his younger brother, okay? It goes from the king to the king's son. And Memo's probably, 18 years older than Tapia? Probably is old enough to be his padre. Moving on to the defensas, we have Jorge Sanchez, who's coming back to Cruz Azul from all reports. Israel Reyes, Brian Garcia, red card last night. Cesar Montes, Victor Guzman, Alex Peña, Johan Vazquez, Chiquete, Arteaga, and Brian Gonzalez from Pachuca. There are some positives with this list. Number one, there's no Sepulveda in here. And number two, there's no Jesus Angulo, thank God. What I'm a little confused at glancing at this is I do not see Julian Araujo. And to my knowledge, he is not injured, although I can verify that very quickly. Julian Araujo, no, he literally played 78 minutes yesterday against Mallorca. Why is Araujo not in this list? That's an interesting one. Y'all, how we feel about that in the comments. No Araujo. I know that he's been pretty booty cheeks every time he's put on the Mexico kit, but he's still, in my opinion, the guy who needs to be the number one moving forward. He still is better than Jorge Sanchez. I don't even think that's debatable. Also, no Kevin Alvarez, and the fall of Kevin might need to be a separate video on its own because that was a guy I highly rated, and now he's borderline irrelevant with the national team. Johan Vazquez and Montes, I mean, those will be the CBs for the next 4 to 5 years for Mexico. Orozco, Chiquete, I'm very interested to see what is done with him. Oh my God, I didn't even notice Gallardo's not in this list. Hold on, is he listed as like a forward or some cheese? No, my gosh, he's actually not in the national team. Oh my God. I never thought I'd see the day. Oh my God. I literally, I, I've thought about what I was gonna do in this moment. I, I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words, and we don't even have. Oh no, we have Luis Romo. Ah, Well, anyways, wrapping up on the defense, Brian Gonzalez, I've been very impressed with him at Pachuca. I do think that he's a guy who deserves at least a look in the national team. No Omar Campos again. That's going to bug me just a little bit because I feel like he's earned that opportunity for a couple reps, although maybe the Copa America, maybe it's too much too soon. I think that's a terrible excuse, but whatever. Israel Reyes, I wonder what's going to be done with him. Is he going to be a CB or kind of an outside back like he plays for America sometimes? Vitor Guzman, like very promising player, and I think technically and from an intelligence standpoint, he's a good defender. But y'all let me know if you agree. But I feel like when I watch Guzman, he just looks very slow. Like I've seen him get cooked for pace several times, both for Mexico and for Monterrey. And I just, I don't know. I'm not saying that's like a reason to not include him, but can you fix that issue? Like, can you make a guy faster when he's already 22, 23 years old? I don't know. I'll tell you what, man, this is a big moment for Arteaga. This is a big, big moment. This right here is literally validating his move from Genk back to Liga MX. He is now, from what I'm seeing, clearly going to be the starting left back, at least for the next couple friendlies and probably the first Copa America game. It is now his position to lose for the first time in his Mexico career. And I wish him the best because, again, I have suspicions about Arteaga. I think being a European player kind of inflated his stock a little bit more than it actually is worth. But we'll see. Probably the guy I know the least about here is Alexis Peña because I never watched Necaxa at all. But congratulations on the call-up, my friend. Moving on to the medios, Edson Alvarez, Luis Romo, Jordan Carrillo, Eric Sanchez, Oblin Pineda, Piojo Alvarado, Luis Chavez, Montaño from Mazatlan, Beltran from Chivas, and Charlie Mother effing. God damn it, boy. We were so close. We were so close. Okay. You know what? He's not going to play. Actually, hold on. No, he played. No, he played against the U.S. Now, this man might actually get minutes. I'm actually disgusted. Jordan Carrillo, that's amazing to see. Congratulations. Definitely deserves it. Kind of surprised that I think Sebastian Cordova's hurt, right? Do they have it listed up before? No. Sebastian Cordova. I don't think he's played in a minute. Well, Fotmob says expected return April 30th, which was 2 weeks ago, but he did not play against Rayados, so I feel like he's probably tentative. And I'm going to be real, man. No Jordi Cortizo either. That pisses me off because he is clearly a better player than Charlie Rodriguez and Luis Romo and would definitely have a better impact on Mexico's play than either of those two guys. When I was watching the CONCACAF Cup or whatever the hell they call the CONCACAF Champions League, I thought Cortizo was Rayados' best player in that matchup against Columbus Crew when they ultimately got bodied. And I talk about this every single live stream, every single time I do a reaction to a match with Mexico. This team lacks dynamism, and guys like Cordova, guys like Cortizo, they bring that to the team. I think Carrillo will help for sure. And I love that so many other Mexican players, whenever they ask them, like, who's one player with Mexico that you think is just going to ball out, they almost always say Carrillo, which that's pretty telling to me. Y'all let me know in the comments, but I think quite literally, if you replaced Luis Romo and Charlie Rodriguez with Cordova and Cortizo, or Cortizo and Ambriz, or Cortizo and Ruiz, I would give the midfield genuinely a 10 out of 10. I don't know if there's like better options we can bring than these guys here. Moving on to the delanteros, we have Marcelo Flores back in the national team. Chino Huerta, Quiñones, Martinez, Jimenez, Alexis Vega back in the national team as well. Uriel Antuna and Diego Lainez, welcome back to the national team as well for the third time. So first things first, I absolutely love that Diego Lainez is there. I've been watching a decent amount of Tigres recently, and I had to say more often than not, I feel like he does outshine Marcelo Flores in that Tigres attack, which makes sense. That's not an insult to Marcelo Flores. I just think Diego Lainez has kind of been around the block a little bit longer as a professional, first team player. And of course, when we're talking reps with the national team, I mean, Marcelo Flores has how many caps with Mexico? 3. I mean, I don't know. Diego Lainez just more experienced. I think he's back to, if it's not his best, it's close to his best. And again, I'm going to say the buzzword, drop a like on the video, dynamism. Diego Lainez brings that to the team. Uriel Antuna has been balling at Cruz Azul, and so has Piojo Alvarado, who I didn't talk about in the medios. My problem with these two gentlemen is we've seen their level with the national team, and I just seriously doubt if it's enough. At least with Antuna, he's put in like 3 man of the match performances or worthy performances with Mexico in the last 2 years. Piojo, I know he's been balling with Chivas, okay? He's got like 18 goal involvements this season. I know he's been good, scored golazos this season. That is all well and dandy. I'm going to offend every single Chivas person watching and probably the America fans as well. To me, he's almost like a Henry Martin in the sense that he performs in Liga MX. I'm not going to take that away from him. Although last 2 seasons, he wasn't even that great, was he? The point being, Liga MX just might be his level, and it might be Antuna's level as well. Again, I don't think Antuna should start for Mexico really ever again. But at least with Antuna, I can point to the stats, I can point to the personal accolades, and I can say he's had an impact. I think Piojo deserves to be in the squad for sure, but honestly, I wouldn't start either of these gentlemen. Speaking of Henry Martin, he is not in the list, and I just want to take a moment of silence to appreciate what our Lord and Savior has done by excluding him from the list. And we're back. I know people are going to be mad and say that Martin, he's overhated and he's not that bad and blah, blah, blah. I do think he's overhated, but I also don't think his level is good enough for a Copa America. So stay your ass at home. Alexis Vega makes his return to the national team. I have long said that under Tata Martino, I genuinely feel like Alexis Vega was one of our better players. And he has been doing pretty well at Toluca. 6 goals, 4 assists in 15 games. It's not a bad return. I kind of feel like Lozano with this one was like, okay, let me give him a chance under me now as the manager to see if he's matured. God, I mean, I can tell you that probably ain't gonna happen. But again, I think it makes sense. There are matches, especially, you know, in the last round of World Cup qualifying. I can think of Jamaica off the top of my head where Alexis Vega was clearly the man of the match for Mexico in those games. I'm not furious about this. Maybe Chivas fans will be mad because they just don't like Alexis Vega anymore, but I'm okay with it. If I'm thinking biggest omissions in the forwards, you guys let me know. Maybe Oziel Herrera, who I think has also been quite good in the Tigres games that I've seen recently. The Oziel is a little weird, especially because Guillermo Martinez from Pumas was called up, and I know they're not, you know, Oziel's a wide player. Martinez is going to play centrally. But I don't know, man. Is Martinez really going to be giving Mexico something that they don't have currently? Again, if we're talking about difference makers, a guy who can come in and just change the tempo of a game, I would have preferred Oziel in here. Remember earlier when I said that I didn't know much about the list? Well, the one thing that I did know, because I had seen it on Twitter and it was unavoidable, was Chucky Lozano not being included. And if this list is 100% accurate, then that does in fact mean that Chucky did not make the squad. And I don't want to go on a tangent here, but I kind of feel like that's a mistake. Like, I do think Chucky Lozano still has an important leadership role to play in this team. I think that he's overhated when he does represent the national team. I think people are being really hard on him overall. Maybe it's because he downgraded from Napoli back to PSV. Maybe it's because there's the rumors of him going to San Diego and the MLS, you know, expansion team. Maybe it's a culmination of all of that. But to me, Chucky Lozano has value. Like, do not tell me if the game's 0-0 in the 60th minute and you throw on Chucky for the final 30 that he's not going to make a difference. He has utility both on and off the pitch. And so I am a little disappointed that he didn't make it. And especially over, you know, I don't want to isolate him, but somebody like Martinez from Pumas, like, I know we'd only be having like 2 guys who can really play the striker in that position. Well, really 3 if you count Piojo. I would have rather had Chucky in the squad over him. But you guys let me know, like, was it time for Chucky Lozano to go? Has his chapter with the national team come to a close? Is this exclusion from the list justified? Let me know in the comments. Chino Huerta, my boy, my dog, like, he got to be starting like at least one of the next rounds of friendlies, you know, either Brazil or Uruguay. I don't give a damn. Just give my man a full 90 minutes. Just see what he can do. Stop hating in the comments. Julian Quinones, no surprise there. I think he deserves to be back in the squad as well. And Marcelo Flores, again, I just think we need to keep the expectations low for this man, because if y'all get on one and y'all get on the soapbox and start talking about how he's the Mexican, you know, insert God level left wing, then I just think we're going to crush this dude's confidence again. We've already crushed Santi Jimenez's confidence. We already crushed Marcelo Flores' confidence like 2 years ago. The dude finally seems like he's back. He's got the braids now. Like, just leave him alone. Don't ask for him to start. He absolutely should not start for Mexico. If we're going off of this list, this is how I'm going to end the video, okay? I'm going to give y'all Jack's ideal starting 11. Goalkeeper, I'm going to go Malagon by a hair. I'm not going to lie. I think Rangel would be a pretty good option. I would like to see it. But we're going to go with Malagon. We're going to go back four, and I would have Arteaga. Like I said, boy, don't waste this chance. Montes Vasquez is the 2 CBs and outright. Bro, y'all have no idea how much I want to say Israel Reyes. Like, I want to say Israel Reyes so bad over Jorge Sanchez. I cannot start this man. Maybe even Brian Garcia from Toluca. Like, you know what? Mírame. I'm going to start Israel Reyes. Right back. Yep, y'all get mad. In the midfield, I'll just go 4-3-3 formation. Edson, obviously, first name on the team sheets. I'm going to start Luis Chavez as well next to him. And this final piece is fascinating. Ooh, it's kind of the attacking midfielder. Yo, I'm going to either say Oberlin Pineda just because of seniority. It ain't because of form. It sure as hell ain't because of form. Oh, man. I want to say Jordan Carrillo so bad. Like, so bad, man. Like, my trigger finger itching, dude. I'm like, I'm ready to empty the clip, dude. You know what? F it, bro. I'm going Edson, Luis Chavez, and Jordan Carrillo as my starting midfield. Eric Sanchez, there's a strong argument. Pineda, not as strong of an argument. And then Piojo, I just don't know if I can start that man. And if I did, it would be wide. I wouldn't have him as a cam. And now we got the front three out left. I'm going Chino Huerta. In the middle, Santi Jimenez. Come on, bro. Too easy. And then right is so interesting. Do you go Diego Lainez? That would be... Yo, I'm not going to lie. Diego Lainez, Santi Jimenez, Chino Huerta, front three from Mexico? Drop a like if that ain't trash. You know what? Even if it is trash, drop a like. Come on now. I think that's it. I think that's actually going to be my starting 11 for Mexico. So I got some hot-ass takes in here, man. I got Israel Reyes over Jorge Sanchez. I got Jordan Carrillo as the starting cam. And I'm putting Diego Lainez over Antuna at the right wing. I mean, even Quinones, I'm thinking about Quinones a lot. Like, that would be a very, very interesting selection. My number one choice would probably be Lainez, then Quinones, and then Antuna for that starting right wing spot. Or you put Quinones left and throw Chino right. Like, it doesn't matter. I think either a Quinones, Santi, Chino, or Chino, Santi, Lainez front three. That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad. It's a hell of a lot better than what we've been rolling with lately. I'm going to end the video there, guys, and just conclude by saying, damn. It's not a perfect list overall. I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. There's still a couple howlers in here. I do not like that Chucky Lozano's not in the squad. I don't like that Jordi Cortizo and Sebastian Cordova didn't make it. And I do not agree with Julian Araujo getting axed for this. And would have liked to have seen Omar Campos or some other hot take in the midfield as well. But I think it's okay. You know what? No. What am I saying? It's better than okay. This is a good list. This is a good, like I said, 8.5. I'm not having anybody go lower than 7.5, like bottom. I think really the Charlie Rodriguez is like the most inexcusable inclusion. Like, I just need, is there a Cruz Azul quota? Because throw Huesca in here, if there is. Take Charlie Rodriguez, get his ass out, throw in Huesca. I guess you'd have to drop one of the fullback. I don't care, but that's the worst inclusion in this list. Am I tripping? Charlie Rodriguez is the worst inclusion in this list. That's the video, guys. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and of course, you gotta let me know your thoughts down below because this thing is scorching hot, bro. This is hot. This is important, and I think we need to talk about it. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be back on the channel to give a more official preview of Mexico's upcoming friendlies. And of course, we got all the Copa America content already out on Deadball TV and a bunch of stuff on the way. I don't want you guys to miss that. Make sure you hit subscribe. Check out the social media links in the description. And if you want to talk all about Mexico with other members of the Deadball TV community, I recommend you jump in the Discord. Link is also in the description.